If you want to understand how your favorite musicians write really strong melodies and really great chord progressions, then what you want to learn is the musical illusion known as voice leading. There's a lot of definitions of this term, but I'm going to shoot it to you straight and show you how easy it is, but more importantly, I'm going to show you what you need to study on your instrument in order to get there. So this lesson's kind of unique. It's a lesson to show you, hey, this could be missing from your playing and your understanding of how music works. And if it is, I'm going to point you into the direction of where to learn this stuff. And it's actually quite easy, I promise you. I wouldn't be making this video if it wasn't, all right? So voice leading is a very cool concept where if you have a chord progression, a standard chord progression, and you're writing a song, you're kind of just playing it with open chords or in piano playing with standard chords, the chord progression might not give you a really powerful sense of music, even though you know it's the right chord progression. And what voice leading is about finding different areas on your instrument to play those chords and move them so they're close together so that the individual notes in each chord kind of gravitate melodically towards the next notes in the next chord, and we get these melodies of movement just by shaping your chords. And I'll show you exactly how this works, and really, you know, it's so much more simpler than that. But check this out. All right, so I'll show you the example of one of my favorite voice-led melodies, which is Jack and Diane by John Cougar Mellencamp. And the chord progression, now if I play this, you're going to kind of hear it, right? It's A, E, D. Now, if I were to play that in open mic, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's totally, Jack and Diane. But what did the professional musician do? Well, so let me show you what the lead guitar player did, or the melody maker did. All right? What happened was they took the chords A, E, and D, and they found a different voicing for the A chord. And they found this one here. This is 5, 6, 7. Okay? And to voice lead, you want to choose your next chord, but you want it to be physically close in a linear direction. What do I mean by that? By meaning down or up the guitar neck, or down or up the piano, not on top, right? And so, A. Now there's an E chord right behind it on 5, 4, 6. A. And then I went to a D chord, just 2 frets down. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 3, 2, 4. Now what that did is these notes are so close to each other physically that the ear starts to create this illusion of movement. It hears those notes, and now as we work down or up that guitar neck, it becomes, instead of, it becomes, you can hear that da da da, or back up, right? And now a melody and a harmony is born because we're playing chords linearly that are close together. So here's the actual part of the song. And all that is I took regular open chords and I tried to play them in a place that, you know, sounded good and was close together. And as that happens, the ear makes that illusion. It's like a blur, a sonic blur, where all of a sudden a melody is created. And that's the art of voice leading, pretty much. All right. So for you to do this, if you are a songwriter, or if you're trying to understand, you know, some of your favorite songs, you really want to know what goes into learning about voice leading, and that's what this lesson is about. I can't teach it to you because you have to know several ingredients, and those ingredients are the cage chord system, pretty much for major, minor chords to start. It's learning, and don't roll your eyes. You know, well, some people might know this, you might not. You might have tried the cage chord system before and been like, oh, that's crap, which it's not. I happen to think that my Cage Primer playlist, which is popping up right here, is like the premier version of how to learn the cage chord system, you know, so it's understandable and makes sense. But the idea is this, is that when you're learning all the different voicings of chords, and you call the voicings of chords bar chords, but really these are all different voices of chords, ways to play them physically. You can play full versions, you can play mini versions, but you want to learn them all. And it sounds daunting, but it is so not. My Cage Primer playlist goes over how to connect and find all of your major chords. It does all the minor chords. It's very, very simple, trust me. And the idea here is you want to learn that and practice that, so when you're learning a song or writing a song, you can take your basic open chords and turn them into moving melodies of voice-led composition on the guitar neck. Now I'm going to show you another one just to show you how cool it is. You know, if you're a fan of the channel, you've seen me use this song as an example. If not, welcome to my channel. Here's a song as an example. Here's the chord progression, okay? Just listen to the chord progression plainly. One more time. It's D, C, E minor, D, G, D. Nothing special, but watch how this chord progression can be voice-led into a beautiful melody. All right, first thing I'm going to do is just find a different place to play those chords. D chord. Now, this is from one of my favorite bands, Phish, and this is off their album Billy Breathed, and this is a song called Free, right? There's a D chord here. Now listen, I'm just going to play different voicings of the chord that move linearly on the neck, or up and down, and I'm not going to play the riff just yet, just the chords, but you can hear how there's a melody being born when we start to move close by to different chords that are physically close and moving up and down. The ear makes this illusion of melody and harmony. Check this out. Right, you can hear that. It starts high and goes low, a little pop, low, lower, and then a resolve, right? And so, that's the voice-led progression, and then what the guitar player does, because he's a genius, is he arpeggiates it, gives it a little bit of flavor. And there's a voice-led composition right there, right? This is what voice leading can do for you. Now, this lesson is meant to teach you that you want to learn how to voice lead, right? It isn't a lesson on how to voice lead, because you've got to learn those ingredients on my Cage Primer playlist. So what are you going to do here? So if you don't want to look at the Cage Primer playlist just yet because you're like, that sounds daunting, which it's not, okay, is on Patreon, we're going to learn how to voice lead. I'm going to show you the chords. I'm going to show you all the different versions of certain examples from songs I know to creating, and that way you can see the worth in it, because if you see the worth in voice leading, it leads to so much in music. It leads to great guitar solos, it leads to great melodies, it leads to great compositions, it leads to great understanding. So voice leading is a premier art form that really makes music. And again, in Patreon, we'll go over examples to listen for, and hopefully this lesson is to inspire you. Hey, go learn your chord voicings. A lot of people call them bar chords, and it's like, do I need to learn all those bar chords? Yeah, because they're chord voicings that are really, really important to creating melody. I'm going to stop talking, believe it or not. Well, you know, that's pretty much it. Okay. Go hit those Patreon practice sessions or check out the Cage Primer playlist and start to learn how to voice lead. You'll be very, very happy that you did. Bye-bye. And listen to that voice-led melody.